Hello. Hello. Hi. Welcome. I'm just knitting right now. Bored. Thinking of pulling some cards or reading a book out loud. You know, sometimes you just want to hear the sound of your own voice. Oh my goodness. What am I making? I... Okay. What am I making? I'm practicing. I just started knitting a week ago and like it's pretty jacked. But I'm just practicing no, not continental, just a regular knit stitch, just a regular stitch. I'm just practicing so that I can get really good, and I would like to make that for my kiddo. Maybe some of those. Probably that would be my first project. I mean, this is kind of like that, but like, look how jacked that is. Look at all those holes. Thank you. Thank you for liking my glasses. Oops, there we go. Thank you. But yeah, just what does your tattoo mean? My tattoo. So my tattoo has to do with astrology, specifically my rising and my sun sign. So one of the fish has to do with Pisces, and the M in the middle has to do with Scorpio. So your ascendant sign has to do with the time and place that you, or the location of the sun at the time and place you were born. And then your just regular birth sign is called your sun sign. So they're both in. Can I make one for you? I mean, that's the hope. That's why I want to practice being good at knitting so that I can hopefully sell knitting projects one day. That would be super cool, but you have to get good at it, you know, and that takes practice. Practice, 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 practice. I mean, it's better than this was my first ever. Look at that. Look at that. And then look at that. So like, you know, a week's worth of practice, we're getting better. We're getting better. Thank you. Yes, 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 yes. But when I get bored of knitting, I have tarot cards that I'll pull if anyone, because I'm a tarot reader and I'm a psychic, and I can pull cards, or if I get bored of that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've got some meditations that I've done, energy healings, tarot readings. I've got a spicy tarot reading. Thank you. Thank you for saying my hair is beautiful. It's dirty. She needs to be washed. My hair. And then if I get bored with cards, if I get bored with knitting, I've got some books, because I also really like reading out loud. And the books that I have are The Queen of the Damned by Anne Rice, which is one of my favorite books. I love, love, love that book. And then this other book by the author Chuck Palahniuk, if you've ever heard of the book, or if you've ever seen the movie Fight Club. Chuck Palahniuk is the author of Fight Club, and I am a huge fan of Chuck Palahniuk, and the book that I have of his right now that I just finished reading, but I would read it again because it's a crazy book. It is called Beautiful You, and it is about a man who creates a line of sex toys in order to take over the world. The line of sex toys completely I can't say that word, but it renders women useless because the sex toys are so good that the women stop sleeping with their husbands and they turn into zombies. Did I watch Squid Game? I watched the first half of the new season, but I haven't watched the second half that came out. Oh, thank you. I probably don't have enough subscribers for Super Chat. I honestly don't know how any of that works, but that's so sweet of you. Um, but yeah, Beautiful You is a crazy, crazy book. Yes, and that's the point that happens in the book. No, this book is so freaking fascinating. Yeah, so in the book that comes up, that overuse of the sex toys where the women become numb, they turn into zombies, and the heroine of the book, she ends up going to, I'm just giving the whole book away. She ends up going to like a sex witch, which this book was like, I want to be a sex witch now. But she ends up going to a sex witch to learn how to transmute, to be stronger than the sex toy, to transmute the energy. And God, this is a cool book. The nerves get damaged and they don't feel anything afterwards. Yeah, you can go numb. This book right here. And then that right there is it's so cool. I'm giving it away, but I'm gonna spoil it for you. That this right here, this sex toy right here, it's called the dragonfly in the book, and what it does is it like hatches inside women, like, so they'll leave it on all night because it feels so good, and then it will hatch inside them and it releases nanobots into their bodies so that the man who created the line of sex toys can control all women from the nanobots that are inside of their body. It's fucking wild and fascinating. It's a really interesting book. And I find it also really interesting that there were some weird, um, just like, sorry to bring this up, but with all like the weird like Diddy stuff, and like if you ever seen the movie Blink Twice and all of the champagne, that was one of the things that was used in this, in that the villain in the book used as well, was this like champagne, this like concoction, this like douching concoction. Yeah. How old am I? Go ahead, take a guess. Take a guess, take a gander. I'm 33 years old. 33. So, and then Queen of the Damned. I mean, if you've ever need, awesome. Um, if you ever need a really awesome movie to watch, Queen of the Damned. Why, thank you. That's very kind of you. I try to take care of my skin, but also I am Latina, so that also helps. My mom is gorgeous. Um, yeah, so like yeah, so this is supposed to be orange, but orange doesn't like to be, I don't know, my skin doesn't like to take orange. I don't know. And this it used to all be a lot brighter. So yeah, it faded. I think I got this about 10 years ago. I think it was 21 or so when I got this tattoo. So, and it also depends on like how much sun exposure you have on your tattoos. But yeah, it's faded a lot. Maybe one day I'll get it touched up and get the colors redone. Thank you. It was the quickest thing ever. I went into a tattoo shop and just in a random mall, and I was like, I want a sun, and I want fish in the sun, and I want the Scorpio. And he was like, done. And he drew it up, and an hour and a half later, it was done. I can remove it with laser. Yeah, I don't think I don't want to remove it with laser. I really enjoy this tattoo. I've loved having it, and I don't have any reason to get rid of it. Yes, I am. It is a part of my, Scorpio and Pisces are a part of my big three. Yep. So I'm a double water fire sign, but I won't tell you what my fire sign is. Where am I from? I'm from the United States. Where are you from? Oh, well, that seems. I don't know if I'd want to go through all of the pain of removing a tattoo just to go through the pain again of getting a new one. I think I would just sit for the pain of getting it touched up. I think that would be. And when I mean touched up, I just mean the color. I would just get the colors touched up and make them brighter. I don't. I enjoy the design of it. Double the pain, double the fun. While I do have a high tolerance for pain, I don't think I want to go through the pain of tattoo removal. I like, no, no, no. Who is it? I love the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And in the early seasons, Rob McElm, however you say his name. Thank you. I love Jesus. Thank you. Jesus is my friend. He loves you too. What time is it in Turkey? Is it the morning? Is it the evening? Yeah. But anyway, in the earlier seasons, you can see he's got like weird, like tribal tattoos randomly. And like I've seen some videos of him like getting them removed. Actually, no, I've not seen them. And I've noticed in the show that like, whoa, his tattoos are gone. But I think I saw like an interview of him saying like how painful it is to get those tattoos removed. Yeah. You're Muslim? That's awesome. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Muslim. I was he's an Aries? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. He's an intense, I mean, they're funny, funny people, but they're also like very intense with their work. Like they're very into their work. I don't know if you've ever seen. I used to like to watch the bloopers, the blooper reels, because their shit is so fucking funny. And to have to act that, oh my goodness. I can't imagine. There's so many different takes and it's so funny. Yeah, Aries are they can be crazy. My sister is an Aries and yes, she can be moody and feisty and fiery and just like spitting fire out the mouth. You love sushi? I had sushi tonight. I went to an all-you-can-eat sushi restaurant where like you pay for whatever and then this little robot wheels the sushi over to your table. No, but I'm allergic to kitty cats. I think they're cute, but they make me sneeze. But not to eat. Oh, yeah, I would hope you don't, okay. Yeah. No, I've not seen K-pop Demon Hunter. It's on my list to watch because I keep hearing that song, like Golden or whatever, and yeah, I like it. I look like Obama. Oh, that's so sad. I'm sorry your cat died. I had a friend whose cat died and that was really sad and boy do I know about animals dying. I used to have the home of geriatric dogs. I had 3 dogs die on me. The last one I have left is right here. Mr. Bojangles. My love, my light. What? Well, someone in there said that I look like Obama, which... Do you need glasses, sir? Do you need glasses? Mr. Bojangles, thank you. Yes. See, yeah, I guess. Thank you. Thank you. That's so kind. Very nice. I'm just knitting, bored. Might pull some tarot, might read some books. For me. Uh-oh. I messed up this. Did I? There we go. No, I messed it up. Yes, I did. See, like I said, I'm still learning. Knit 1, purl 9. Okay. I've only been like knitting on this. I've not been doing a bunch of purling. I just learned knitting. Like I said, this was my first project and I was like, this looks like shit. So I learned how to, it's oh wow. Damn. And this is only my second week of practicing knitting. I'm just practicing. How do I purl again? No. Should I? No, I'm just gonna keep regular knitting. What's that song? I keep hearing that song because someone said the K-pop demon, the da 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 na, na. What is it? Golden? Is it called Golden? I can't remember, but it sounds really good. Yeah, I think it's a good hobby. I needed a cheap hobby. I needed a hobby that wasn't gonna cost me a bunch of money. Do, 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 do. Mhm. Yeah. But yeah, it's almost midnight here for me. But I can't sleep. I've been going to bed super late. So I figured, why not hop on? Do I know soda pop? Like, what do you mean? Like Coca-Cola? Like a soda pop? Which is interesting. In the United States, and depending on which region you're in, we all call it something different. Like here in the Pacific Northwest, sometimes we just call it pop. And I know in the South, every type of soda is just called a Coke. And they'll be like, oh, do you want a Coke Dr. Pepper? Do you want a Coke Sprite? And it's like, because literally soda is just called Coke. But I don't know, is Soda Pop supposed to be like a K-pop artist or something? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I've been kind of obsessed. I never drank soda growing up. It was just like not allowed in my household. But as an adult right now, I'm currently in my Diet Coke era. I get like the little 12-ounce bottles of Diet Coke and I'll have a little Diet Coke every now and then. Because I don't drink alcohol. And I just decided, do I have kiss? I have kisses. I have a daughter. I have one kid. Uh-huh. Which is why when I get good at knitting, I want my project to be that little poncho thing over there. And she even asked me. She's a toddler. She's young. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, oh, back to Queen of the Damned. If you need a good movie to watch, Queen of the Damned is a great movie. And now, like I said, I'm one of those people, not all the time, but for this, I am going to be. The movie, the movie is a really great adaptation for the book in what it is. I wouldn't say it follows the book close enough, but it follows it in a way that the movie is great. And the best thing about the Queen of the Damned movie is the soundtrack. Um, if you need a great movie soundtrack to listen to, Queen of the Damned soundtrack is it's fire. It's so good. It's so good. It's just all around sexy rock and roll. It's Lestat. Which if you watch Interview with a Vampire, I've only seen the first season because I don't have AMC, and I would love to watch the rest of it, but they're gonna. Okay, bye bye. Hmm. But yeah, I really. Oh my gosh, I want to see that the rest of that series. Bye. Because they're getting into. I wonder if they're gonna. I guess that franchise purposes, they're going to continue calling it Interview with a Vampire, but it looks like in the show that they're getting to the point where they're getting to either The Vampire Lestat, which is also a really awesome book. I love Anne Rice. I love vampire lore. And no, yes, I've read all of Twilight, but no, I don't know. I don't, that's not, that is not, those aren't vampires. I don't know. They don't sparkle in the goddamn fucking sun. They burn up and they die. That's what happens to vampires. Not sparkle in the sun. But in the show, it looks like they're getting to the point, especially if Lestat is on stage singing and in his rock and roll era, then we are leaning into the territory of either the Vampire Lestat, which is like a whole history of the Vampire Lestat, who is a very interesting character in her series, or they're getting into Queen of the Damned, which Queen of the Damned all centers around Lestat's concert in the freaking desert where a bunch of shit goes down, and it's really freaking awesome. It's such an awesome movie scene too, this large concert. um and like I said, the soundtrack, like Korn is featured on the soundtrack, Deftones, Chester Bennington, like it's good. It's good. Do yourself a favor, listen to the soundtrack or watch the movie. You If you like vampire related things, you will not be disappointed. And you like real vampire things, you won't be disappointed. But I think the really interesting thing about not Stephanie Meyer, gross, Anne Rice, um, is that she eventually, and I think it's interesting, and I love that her husband is on, not, well, is like affiliated with the show, because it definitely gives some credibility to the show and harkens back to the books, the source material. But she denounced all of her books for Christianity at one point. I'm pretty sure she's passed on. I think she's dead. But she denounced everything for Christianity. And it's like, Anne Rice, why? Why? What happened? But I mean, it's some dark, kinky, gay, vampire, sexy stuff going on. So I don't know, maybe she felt guilty and decided that she needed to turn to Christ for that. I don't know. I don't know. I think that happens a lot though, when people get into, I don't know, if you feel like you're in darkness, Jesus Christ I think is a good way to get out of it, but I don't know if going to a church is necessarily the best way to get through darkness or to access Jesus Christ. My issues with churches is that everyone has access to their higher self. Everyone has access to God as you perceive God. You have access to Jesus Christ. All you need to do is close your eyes, set the intention, meditate, and go within and speak to the God of your heart or speak to Jesus. But in religion, you were told that you must go through a priest in order to access God, in order to access Jesus. And that doesn't sit right with me, and it's never sat right with me my entire life. And I was born and raised Catholic, so I am, deconstructing a lot of that now, deconstructing growing up Catholic and I went to a Catholic school, and pretty much you just had this version of God shoved down your throat your entire life. But for me, I always felt like I was doing it wrong. I always felt like I wasn't doing the God thing right, that I wasn't speaking to God properly because I couldn't hear God. And I was like, so when we pray, someone's supposed to be speaking to us? Like I'm supposed to be hearing like a little voice in my head or something? And I was like, I just must not be doing it right. So, but I don't know. That's how it is. But also, you know what? I growing up Catholic and going to a Catholic school and being involved in Catholic Mass, Catholic Mass has a lot of ritual. Ritual. So I do appreciate growing up around that and growing up around ritual as because it has influenced my ritual in my spirituality now as I practice spell work or as I practice communicating with my higher self now. Didn't know how to do that back then. But like growing up, when I was in middle school, you had a choice. Either you get to be a crossing guard for the 6th grade year, or you can choose to be an altar server. But if you choose to be an altar server, you are choosing to be an altar server for all of middle school, from 6th grade to 8th grade. And so, but the thing about being an altar server at my Catholic school is that if you chose that, you could also train as an altar server and do funerals. And so I was like, yeah, because when you did funerals, one, you got pulled out of class to go altar serve for a funeral. Two, you got paid. Three, you got a free meal afterwards because you got to go down to the reception after the funeral. So I don't know. When I was in middle school, I loved going to funerals because I got to altar serve them and I got paid. In middle school, you got paid $20. You got pulled out of class and you got paid $20 and you got a meal. Like, sign me up. People were like, I don't want to do altar serving. I just, that's 3-year commitment. Yeah. And you get paid. Why not? I didn't see the downside to it. So, and altar serving for funerals was so much fun because you got to play with fire. So one of the part of a Catholic funeral, like I said, Catholicism is like all about ritual. If you've ever listened to David Icke, I love David Icke. He's, a little wacky here and there, but he likes to call Catholicism Satanism light. And I mean, totally, it totally is Satanism light. Are you kidding me? You drink his blood and you eat his body. Is that not one, human sacrifice, and then two, cannibalism? Oh, it's supposed to be metaphorical. Sure, Jan. Sure. Anyway, in funerals, there was a certain part of the funeral, and funeral mass is very different. That's why you had to train for a funeral mass. Is very different than a normal mass because there is the bringing down of the casket, and then there's the incense. Incense is reserved for special occasions, funerals, not Christmas. I don't think it was no, maybe Christmas and Easter. And so, in order to do the incense, the altar server goes into the back and you get to light the coal. So you get to use the lighter, the long stick lighter, and sit there and light the coal. And here I was, all of like 12 years old in the back, lighting a coal and like watching the embers and blowing on the coal. Like, I knew how to get a really hot coal for the priest to then put the incense on and then wave the incense around church. Yeah. Anyway, growing up Catholic, it's kind of a trip. Kind of a trip. Also, I was telling a friend recently that, like, also growing up Catholic, when you're in 8th grade, or at least at my school, we got to participate in the Stations of the Cross, which are, I can't remember how many stations there are, but the Stations of the Cross are like in most, at least in my church that I grew up in, around the church where I think it's 12, there were 12 different what are they called? Tableaus. 12 different tableaus that were like the different stations of the cross. And then as 8th graders, we got to act it out. And it was like this huge thing where one of the 8th graders got to be Jesus and they carry the cross up, and then you basically nail that person to the cross, symbolizing Jesus being nailed to the cross. This always happens around Easter time. And I was telling this to my friend who is not Catholic, and she was like, Teresa, that sounds really traumatizing. And I was like, well, I mean, it's normal. It's indoctrination for sure, because since kindergarten, when you start going to church, you have memories of seeing the Stations of the Cross and seeing the kids older than you doing it. And then that initiation of, once you get into 8th grade, you then get to be part of and participate in the Stations of the Cross. So I don't know if every Catholic school participates or does that, but um, yeah, very, very, very interesting. I did eventually get confirmed when I was in high school, which I think is kind of annoying because why are you allowing children, high school children, who do not have fully developed brains to make a life decision to then be a part of this religion for the rest of their life? Like, your brain's not fully developed. What do you mean? What do you mean? But that's also kind of my issue too. You're like baptized into it as a baby and you have no choice. Because I am not, I don't know. The last time I went to, I think, a Catholic mass was my grandmother's funeral. And I remember receiving communion, and it did not vibrate well in my body energetically. I felt weird. Part of me didn't want to take the Eucharist, um, but I did. I don't know why. I think because I wanted to, honor my grandma. But yeah, it was not in alignment with me. It was not in alignment with me to eat Jesus's body at church. Uh, it was fun to drink the wine though, because you got to drink wine. Also, what another weird thing, because you get the other thing that I really did not like growing up Catholic as a girl is you're taught around first, second grade all the different commandments of being Catholic. And there's a certain number of commandments, and I am like between type A, type B personality. And if there is a list that I get to check off the boxes, and I'm going to check off all those boxes. However, for girls, you don't get to check off all of the boxes because you can't become a priest. You cannot become an ordained priest. I know they've changed something about that, but back in my day, girls, you're not allowed. So if I can't tick off all of the boxes, it's not finished. It's unsettled. And that always made me really, really upset. But in second grade is where you receive your reconciliation commandment, and then you also receive your first Eucharist. So what is this, as David Icke would say, pedophilic religion that is giving wine, symbolic blood, wine to second graders? How old are you in second grade? You're like 7, right? It's just, it's weird. It's weird, but it's normal. And I would probably be told that I'm the weird one for saying that it's weird. But it's weird. It's weird. It's definitely, it's weird. And I don't know what was up with that priest. So like I said, I was an altar server and I served on funerals, and sometimes funerals were on the weekend, and there was just like this list of the altar servers, and you would look and be like, "Oh, I've got a funeral on the weekend." Okay. In my town, and this was an evening funeral, which are not common. That's a rare funeral to have an evening funeral in a Catholic church. Usually they're in the morning. So I lived at like 6 blocks away from my church growing up. I was able to walk to school, walk to mass, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll walk to mass, and I did the funeral, and it was dark, and I was just gonna walk home, and the priest was like, no, 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 you're not gonna walk home. It's dark. And I was like, okay. And I didn't have a cell phone. This was, early 2000s. I didn't have a cell phone. So I was like, okay, fine. And he was like, well, I'm going to grab my car and I'll drive you home the 6 blocks. And I was like, okay, cool. So that meant we had to walk into his house, and he had a housekeeper there. Or like this lady, I have no idea who she was. I had never seen her before, like in the congregation. But when we walked into the house, she was in just like a large t-shirt. She was very comfortable. She was very comfortable in that house as a housekeeper, but she was just like in a large t-shirt and her underwear and sandals. And she was this like tiny Asian woman. And I was just like, this is weird. this is weird. I don't know what's happening. I am 12 years old in a priest's house. I tried calling my parents because he gave me a phone to call my parents because he wanted my parents to come get me and not have me walk home in the dark. Um, but they weren't answering their phones. And so he drove me home and it was fine, but like that stayed with me for a long time. I was like, who is this? Because in Catholicism, priests are celibate. So for me, knowing that, having that be my programming, and walking into this priest's house and seeing a woman who was very comfortable in her t-shirt and her underwear, it was just odd, very odd. Yeah. So I will not be taking my children to church like that or have, and you know, it's really fascinating because I actually was going to have I had my child enrolled to go to the same elementary or to do preschool at the same Catholic school that I went to my entire life. And some circumstances in my life changed, and I withdrew her. She's not going anymore because we're going to be relocating, which is fine. But I don't know. I find it really interesting. She's not meant to be there, so I'm glad she's not going. But also, I think it would be a weird look if her mom is like, oh, a witch, tarot reading, psychic reading, energy reader. I don't know if they would be too thrilled about my skills. So, yep. I didn't realize I would be talking so much about the Catholic Church tonight, but I guess that's what I needed to vent and talk about. Because, I mean, that was so much of my life, right? From preschool, from what, well, no, I was baptized and I have godparents. So that was from birth to to confirmation, which was my sophomore year in high school when I was 16 years old. Which, you know, another story. The people who were running the confirmation class wanted to kick me out of confirmation. They were like, we don't think she should be confirmed. And you know what? I probably should have, like, not have been confirmed, but whatever. I stuck with it because when you're getting confirmed as a Catholic, you have a sponsor. And my brother had just gotten confirmed, and I was like, I want my brother to be my sponsor. Why not? He just went through this process. Who knows this process better than him? And they were very much up in arms about that because they're like, no, you need someone older and more experienced to guide you into being a Catholic. And I was like, no, no. And I also was getting in trouble because I was asking too many questions. God forbid you have questions about the Bible. God forbid you have questions about the misogyny and the sexism in the Bible. And also, the Bible is so fucking sexual. Like, why are we teaching? Because, like, in 8th grade, my religion teacher, he was obsessed with having us read Genesis. Have you ever read Genesis before? Have you ever read the beginning of the Bible, Genesis? It is filled with weird, creepy, sexual, incestuous, and rape. Like the whole Sodom and Gomorrah, the angels are knocking at the door and they're like, whoa, there's angels out there. We should rape them. And it's like, why are we reading this at 13 years old? That is inappropriate. That is inappropriate. Why? And you know what? It's the inappropriate of the religion teacher, because the other 8th grade class, they weren't reading Genesis. We had a male teacher, go figure, and the other class had a female teacher, and they had to write essays all the time. And they're like, "What? You you just get to read?" And we're like, "Yeah." They're like, we just have to write essays all the time about loving God or loving Jesus or something. But no, our teacher was talking to us about using a flashlight to check for what is it called? Crabs. And it's like, this is what? This is a true experience growing up Catholic and going to Catholic schools. Like, it's just, What the heck? Anyway, going back to confirmation class, they wanted to kick me out of confirmation class because I was asking too many questions. They didn't like the questions that I was asking. But I, like I said, I stuck with it and I went through with it. And so come the day of confirmation, when you are getting confirmed, it's a big deal. It's a bigger deal than your first communion. And so what they do is they bring in a bishop. So you've got your regular priest and then you've got the bishop. So the bishop comes down from the big town, from the archdiocese, and they come in to assist the priest in confirming you into the Catholic religion forever. And so the bishop was giving his homily, and he was walking down the walking up and down like the main aisle, the main pew aisle, and he's giving his homily and he looks right at me and he says, and women don't have to be whores and sluts anymore. And I was just like, motherfucker, like, who are you talking to? Who are you talking? Like, me? Like, okay. Like, yeah, that was the last time. I mean, I've been to the church for funerals and weddings, but that was the last time I went to a Catholic mass out of being a part of the religion and getting something out of mass. I never got anything out of mass. What I learned in 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 Catholic mass was how to dissociate. Was how to dissociate from what was going on and not listen to the priest, because we had a very Irish priest and you could barely understand what he was saying anyway. So, yeah, freaking Catholic school. Catholic school and Catholic church. It is something else. Yeah, I ended up writing a paper in high school about it. It was called Sundays with Linda. I was definitely triggering her something else. But thankfully, because the rest of my siblings, they went to a Catholic high school. I I did 1 year at Catholic high school and I said, fuck this. Fuck this, I'm going to art school. So I auditioned for art school in high school, and I ended up doing the rest of my college career, or college, no, high school career, going to art school studying theater. So, which, the Catholic high school had a pretty good theater program, but no, I was not going to survive there. I was not going to survive that community. It was just awful. Like, I'm not even that Latina looking. And like, I would go to high school and people every day would be like, one of my friends, this is, again, this is the early 2000s, 2010s. Like, it was normal to like walk down the hallway and have someone greet me and be like, hey, how's it going, wetback? And it's like, haha, yay, subtle racism, woohoo, microaggressions. I don't know, would that be called like a macroaggression or something? Like, Jesus. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, I was very happy like I said, I was not going to survive at that school. So I took myself to art school. And then I got to be an exchange student, which is a whole other host of stories in and of itself. And I remember, because like, yes, I grew up a Catholic, but like when I was an exchange student, I lived in Chile for a year, and Chile is like a predominantly Catholic country. And so I remember, yeah. Oh, I would love to. Sure. You want to ask a question? Sure. Do I want to use this deck? I want to use this deck for you. Voice band. Voice. Sure. I'm gonna shuffle my cards down here. Yes, I would love to do a reading for you. So you can go ahead and ask a question and I'll pull some cards for you. And I mean ask a question as in like what is your intention? What do you want to know from the cards? Let me know. I'm glad you asked because I could just keep talking. Talka. Or do you mean start reading my book? Because I'll read to you. I love reading. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me... So, you would like to know about your future, love life, random. So, I'm going to state it as what's ahead for you. Okay, that's it. Yes, let's do that. Is there a dark entity near me right now and why? Why or why not? So, let's take a look. I'll definitely use the cards, but energetic wise, like doing like I would probably be better if I tuned into your energy and like actually looked at your aura. But as a practicing psychic, I'm not energetically prepared for that. And I would never read someone that I am not energetically prepared for, especially in that way. So, but I am energetically prepared for cards because that is different. But setting the intention, spirit, what do we need to know? Only messages of truth and clarity for voice band. Is there a dark entity near them? And if so, why? Okay. Is there a dark entity near them? Is there a dark entity near them? Oh, that's way too many. I just need one. One more for this. Yeah. So okay. All right. So what came in was the Nine of Swords inverse and the Four of Swords inverse. So I would say, yes, there is a dark entity. But these cards don't necessarily feel like your energy. Your energy is actually feels like this one right here, the Nine of Pentacles. So when you're giving this clarification about like your family, it makes sense because like I don't know what kind of work you do to protect yourself, but as this being representative of your energy, do you see the walls that are built up in order to protect you? And do you see how these cards are both swords cards? Swords have to do with your mind, with mental energy. And if you see that the top right here representing you and you protecting your energy, your top area, your head is open. AKA exposed to dark entities that possibly could be coming through when your family is engaging in alcoholic beverages, which when you are drinking, you are consuming spirits. So you are you can be, when you are drinking, giving false, giving consent to darker spirits, to have control, because those darker entities, what do they want? They want a way in, they want a body. So I'd like to ask, what advice do you need to know? What advice do you need to know about this dark, low vibrational energy? Can I just get one more card for that? Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. So the card that came through is Wheel of Fortune. And to clarify that, the Seven of Pentacles. So the advice for you about this lower vibrational energy, or what you say feels like a dark entity, is that this is, especially with it being the Wheel of Fortune and you talking about your family, definitely this Wheel of Fortune is like, I want to say generations, because this almost looks like I know it, what am I trying to say here? These feel like different generational lines that are being passed down, this darkness that is being passed down. And again, this yellow energy here, this pentacle energy here really feels like you. Pentacle energy is earth energy, grounded energy. So I can see why you are feeling like there is this darkness around you, because what these cards are saying is that this mental energy of this entity is uplifting, not uplifting, but unrooting your grounding, or your sense of grounding. So the advice here, with this Seven of Pentacles, if you can see, there's like this line being drawn in the sand, and both of these cards, your energy, this yellow energy, is sacral chakra energy. So the advice is to set boundaries. Set boundaries for your own peace of mind. And that's what this is saying here, drawing those lines in the sand. Now, if you look at the lines that the character is drawing, look how blurry those lines are. With your family, those boundaries can get crossed, they can get blurry because of your family. But remember, it's your peace of mind. It's your mind that it's coming into. And if it's bothering your peace, because the Nine of Pentacles, this energy, that's pre-Empress energy. That is the pre-energy of like, not only of like having it all and receiving what you need to receive, which also coincides with that third chakra energy, which is your personal power and your boundaries, your confidence. So, and when I say confidence, I was given the hit that whatever this dark energy that comes through drinking with your family, and they're drinking, it what type of boundaries has to do. So I mean, that I don't know your experience. How are your boundaries have to do with what's being crossed with you, you know? What is, how are they stepping over the line in a way? What do you need to set in order for you to have peace of mind? You can't control them. So if there's some codependency going on in there, of like wanting to control them or telling them to stop, sometimes, you know, either that means cutting contact with them, or being like, hey, if you're drinking, I'm just, I'm going to dip. I'm not going to be around you and be around them when they're sober. But only you can know that. It's your life. It's your family. You have to suss that out. Yeah, for me, the matching pictures that I have with you, that's what you've been trying to do. Do you not feel like you've been successful with it? Well, I can see that. So, okay, because this Wheel of Fortune here, well, that's the thing with codependency is, right. Well, so asking them to stop is not setting a boundary. Setting a boundary would be I don't want you to do that around me. If you're going to do that around me, I'm going to leave. And then follow through. If they do that around you, leave, remove yourself. Remove yourself. There's nothing you can do. They're going to do they're going to do what they're going to do. And you're going to do what you're going to do. And in order, and I know I know, especially for me, my brother had a really bad drinking problem and I worry about him. I have to detach. I have to detach myself. I can't control my brother's life. I can't make his decisions for him. I have to detach and I have to tell him how I'm feeling. When I was pregnant, I was 9 months pregnant and I went to a concert with my brother and my ex at the time, or my ex and my sister. My brother got so drunk, he got kicked out of the venue. He was so drunk, he left us. He left us 45 minutes away from where we were. 9 months pregnant, mind you. He drove home blacked out drunk. We found him in the driveway with Taco Bell. Thankfully, he was parked in the driveway. I sat down and I spoke with him and I told him how I felt about it. And I told him, like, I'm worried about you. This isn't a good path for you. I said, but you're going to make your own choices. And I said, I don't want to be around you if you're drinking like that. And I don't want to go to concerts with you anymore if you're going to be drinking like that. So, and he changed. He was able. Yeah, he was good. So you're saying like you're stuck with your family, like you don't have anywhere to go? Go to another room. Go to a bathroom. I'm sorry. Let's see if we can pull something else, if there's anything else you can do. All right, can I get a clarifier for that, please? One more. Maybe. So I just asked if there's anything else you can do, especially like you said, there's nowhere for you to go. Okay. Huh, interesting. Okay, so the cards that came through were the Fool and the Tower, both inverse. But as I'm looking at like the other cards in the deck, I see like a lot of cards inverse, a lot of blocked energy. But then I also saw the Empress again, and we have the Nine of Pentacles, that pre-Empress energy. So this definitely, so the Fool and the Tower inverse. So with both of these cards being inverse, I'm hearing it's high time for change in your family, high time for those family members to change something about themselves. And if they're not going to do it after you've made your concerns and set your boundaries, they are refusing a tower moment. And often when you're refusing a tower moment, you're just going to have an even harder tower moment that comes in. And a tower moment can feel like a tower moment is something that happens in your life where it's like things crumble, but things crumble and they fall apart in order for you to rebuild and rebuild better. However, with the Fool in reverse, which means I heard false start, that I don't know if they've tried or whoever has tried to stop and then, yeah. So where does this go to advice for you if you can't leave? The advice for you is, if you have a room or your bed, whatever place that is your own, the advice for you is to create your space, your bubble in your household, your space also energetically. So that can be as simple as like setting the intention. You don't have to be a psychic to do it, but setting the intention to create a bubble around your space. And like, and in that bubble, it is your energy, it is your boundaries. Because this pre-empress energy, and then I saw the empress later, the empress has to do with like being in full divine feminine energy. And you don't have to be a woman to have divine feminine energy. What feminine energy means is to receive. You need to receive the love and care that you are pouring into your loved one. So do that through making your bed comfortable, making having a nice like lighting around your bed, where like your bed or your space is your safe sovereign space that they can't interfere with. And if that means you need to get locks on your doors so that they're drunk and not coming into your room, if that's possible for you, it might be an option. So I hope that helps. So I'm gonna put those away. If anyone else wants to ask a question, you're more than welcome. If they don't, I will take one more question. But yes, definitely, especially energetically. Like you want to like protect your energy. Yeah. Don't be shy, or be shy. You can be shy. It's okay. You can be shy. Yeah, you can ask a different question. Is it a love question? Do you want to know about love? That is so funny because this. I'm so sorry to laugh at you. I'm only laughing because right before that popped up for me, this card came out, which is the Ten of Wands, and this deck says oppression. And then that popped out, and I saw it on the floor, and then I saw your question. So I apologize for laughing. That is awful. I'm so sorry you were cheated on. Um, okay, I'm glad you're laughing too. It was just the timing was just, a little shocking for me. I had to laugh because when that came out, I was curious. I was like, oh my gosh, I really feel for you. I was like, I'm curious whether this card had to do with your family members or with love life. You want to know why she cheated on you? It hurt at the time though. Yeah, I can only imagine. That would really fucking suck to be cheated on. Like what a betrayal. What a betrayal. Interesting. So I said, why does she cheat on you? And this is the card that came out. This is the Queen of Swords. And if you notice, she's holding a mask. So my guess is she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know who she is. And my guess is that there were other people giving her attention. Boom, boom, boom. And because she doesn't know who she is, see that mask? Or perhaps, she, with that mask on, like she's learning who she is. I can't speak to why someone would do something, but what I can say that this is her energy, and this energy of the Queen of Swords It's a very powerful energy. Again, swords, mind energy, air energy. So, and the thing about the Queen of Swords, and it's coming in upright, the Queen of Swords can be very cutting with their words. Queen of Swords can, so honestly, I don't know. I really feel like she was getting attention from other people, and with it being a swords card, I feel like she was getting attention in a way that was, I don't know, stimulating to her mind. Or the conversation back and forth was witty, like whoever, like they could banter back and forth with her in a way. But again, I can't speak to why people do what they do. I can only speak to the energy of a card. So that's what I got. I'm sorry you were cheated on. I hope. Yeah. Yeah. People betray us. People betray us. So how about we ask, what are you supposed to learn from this? What's the lesson? Spirit, what's the lesson here? Oh, fascinating. Yeah. So I find it really, so the card that came out when I asked what's the lesson here, so which is the King of Swords inverse, which is hilarious because that means your energy is blocked. The King of Swords energy, very similar to the Queen of Swords. It's that mental energy, but that intelligent mental energy wanting to be stimulated in on the mind, in the brain. And I find it also interesting from my perspective as I'm looking at these cards. Hi there. Um, yeah, with this blocked energy, I don't know if you're still, obviously you're still thinking about her, but it looks like you're still like running to or chasing towards her, and she's just like, nope. Um, so let's see here. I want to clarify her for that because what is the lesson here? It's too many. I just want one. Okay, but what is it leading to? Okay, again, way too many. Give me an outcome. Give me an outcome of the lesson. Oh, wonderful. Great. I've been knitting. So knitting. But back to our friend. Let's see here. So what is the lesson here? So from this betrayal, what you needed to learn, and in this energy that you're blocked in, this again, and this came up in your other reading with your family, all this mental energy. You're in your head a lot because the Four of Pentacles came up inverse. This is your energy, my friend. The boundaries, your personal power, your confidence. This is, thank you. This is asking you, again, this blocked energy, asking you to go within, but you're struggling to go within because you are in a blocked King of Swords energy and you're completely heartbroken. Three of Swords energy. So what is the outcome of this? It's like, okay, we get it. You're sad. You got cheated on. It ended. You're blocked in this energy. You're blocked in moving forward. So how you're going to unblock yourself, and I love this for you, is she was not your match. See how she's the Queen of Swords? How you're going to come through the other end, sir, is with the King of Wands. It's a different suit. it's not, you need to get out of your head, and you need to get into your passion. You need to get, because the King of Wands is a go-getter. If you're struggling with your boundaries, if you're struggling with your confidence, that's where it all stems back to. It stems back to your boundaries and not, and having firm boundaries. I would look up anything to do with boundaries so that you can be in a position, because like you said, you sacrificed a lot. You're putting that mental energy in there that blocked. You're making the list. You're saying, you're making the list. I did this and this. That's not this energy. That you need someone that you can create with. You know, you need someone with the same amount of passion as you. Yes, you felt that there was passion there, but this energy, this air energy is a different kind of passion than fire energy. And this is your sauce. You need to find the fire inside of you and set those boundaries. Don't let people walk over you, because it's keeping you in this energy of oppression and feeling immense burden from your family and significant others. Find the fire inside of you, find it within your heart, find the love for yourself in your heart. Go turn this energy and go within and find your power and set boundaries. You're not meant to be stuck in this energy. You're not meant to be stuck in this energy, especially because, boy, you've got this to offer. This is awesome. This is a great thing to offer. You have it inside of you. You do. You have it inside of you. Pull out the fire within you, and you need to roar. That means you need to be mean to people. Be mean. Don't let people walk over you. And that's all I have for you. That was awesome. I hope that helped. Ooh, twin flame question. I love that. Sure. Do I want this deck? No. I'm going to use a different deck for you. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm so glad that you did something, and that ties back into that King of Wands energy. I'm so glad you're doing something for your body, because you will find that fire inside of you. Do not be afraid to be mean. Do not be. You have so much to offer. You do. With that King of Wands energy, you're not coming in as a knave. You're not coming in as a knight. You're coming in as a goddamn fucking king. Okay? Okay. So, thank you. All right. May I ask, have I already met my twin flame? If so, any hint? Well, it is my personal belief that psychics and tarot readers cannot tell you who your twin flame is. A twin flame is a very personal journey. It's like, if you know, kind of thing. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, that you'll just probably be by yourself and alone for the rest of your life. But no, you see, like, you've got that passion there. You want to create with another person, and so you shall. It just might take you some time. It might take you some time. That's all. Okay. Has Diamond Heart. Sure, Maxine, you'll be next. Has Diamond Heart met their twin flame? Ooh. All right. I just need one more to clarify, please. Thank you, you too. Ooh. So when I asked, I would say yes. I would say yes, you have. I don't know a hint who it would be. So hold on, I want one more card. Sure. So how about I tell you what I'm seeing in the cards and then you can decide for yourself who that specific person is. Because like I said, twin flame journey is a very personal journey. I don't think any one person can tell you who your twin flame is. You know who your twin flame. Yeah, no, I'm sure. I'm sure. I recently met my false twin and boy was that a journey. Um and I knew it was I've known my twin flame for years. We grew up together and but let me read the cards and let me show you the energy that's going on and you can make a decision for yourself, okay? So, when I was shuffling and I asked my the first thing I heard was yes, you've met your twin flame. So the first card that came out is the Five of Pentacles. And I wanted to clarify, and it came out upright, but I wanted to clarify clarification on that. And then what came out next was the Seven of Pentacles. So for me, that confirms the yes that I heard in my head from Spirit. However, the dynamic that I'm seeing right now with your twin flame is it feels like this feels like their energy, this Five of Pentacles right here, and this feels like your energy, the Seven of Pentacles. Meaning with the Five of Pentacles being your twin's energy, the Five of Pentacles is a card, they're literally looking and seeking for shelter and trying to come in from out of the cold. And from my perspective of the cards, I don't know if you can see that. You two are facing each other. So if this is someone who you've recently gone into separation with, it's like you guys are what, because a lot of twins have to do with the runner chaser dynamic. It looks like you guys are that they are now chasing. And yes, you are facing them, but you are in your peace. You are sowing, you are in Seven of Pentacles energy. So you're not quite ready for harvest on whatever your project is. Um, but look at all of that there. You could harvest it. You have so much to offer and so much to give. And this twin, it's like they're coming in from out of the cold. They want to come back. They want to come back. However, the dynamic and these two cards here feel like the dynamic between the two of you. Um, um, which is death inverse, and then the six of swords. So it looks like yes, they're like I don't like again, I don't know your situation. Um their energy feels like they just got done um in a period of maybe separation and that they're like running towards you. I mean, you can be bothered. However, they're about to run again because the Six of Swords is like a travel card. And look, they've got their back turned and they're running away off into the moon, off into because there is this death, this whoever this person is for you, whatever they're going through, and you remember as a twin, you are mirroring that energy. There is this there's something in your life with the death that it could be a habit, it could be a thought pattern that needs healing, that needs to go away, that needs to be unblocked. Because the death card, yes, people think the death card is scary, but what is death about? It's about death and rebirth. It's about the phoenix rising from the ashes, right? So, and with it being in inverse and blocked energy, I want to know what's being blocked here. What do you, hold on a second. Interesting. So if you look at this card, there's this rope right here in front of whatever the Grim Reaper, right? And I don't know if you can see, there's the tethering. It's like, especially it being in inverse. Like, so if you were to, again, a lot of mental energy in here too, being in your head a lot because of all of the smoke here. Well, and it's never going to be 100% done. You never stop healing. You never come to a place where you're like, I'm done healing. I'm 100% okay now. No, it's layers, right? So, like I said, I wanted to ask what is the pattern right now that the two of you are working on, right? That they're coming in to be like, hey, let's work on this, but I'm not actually doing the work, so I'm going to run away again. You're doing the work. You very much are doing the work. They've tried to do the work. They're coming in and said, hey, I did a little bit of work, but not all the way. But not all the way. I haven't severed it yet. Because like I said, this is such an interesting card for this, because there's this cable, this cord right here, and right here it's tethered, and there's one string left, and death could knock it out, could, cut it, and, but no, it's blocked. They're going to keep it, and then they're going to run away into the night again. But never fear, you're still on your healing journey. But like I said, I wanted to know, what is this energy, this blocked energy that you're mirroring together, right? This pattern. Interesting. I want a clarifier for that. Interesting. Okay. So this energy that you guys are mirroring, that's really fascinating. So again, with your twins energy, we've got the Eight of Wands here. Now don't get excited, because Eight of Wands energy, everyone's like, oh my God, they're coming in, they're gonna come and they're gonna make contact. Yes, I read the cards, but I also like to read the energy of the imagery on this card. And she's panicked. She looks panicked. Yes, all of her wands are there, but they are getting sucked up into a tornado. So, so that's their energy. Your energy is the sun energy. Very beautiful energy. It really coincides with this Seven of Pentacles energy that you've got going on. So and look at this anxiety right here. This anxiety. Uh-oh, how am I going to pull my shit together? I'm trying to come in out of the cold, trying to meet my twin. I'm not really working on I'm trying to. I may need to go away again to work on these wounds. And you're just kind of like, I'm here. I'm here. The twin flame journey isn't all that it's cracked up to be. The twin flame journey, I would say, is not always a romantic journey the way that New Age spiritualism sells you. The twin flame journey is, yeah, I love that energy for you too. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep healing what you're healing, because you have this beautiful energy. Whatever you're healing, you're creative. You have so much abundance coming your way, and that's from putting in the work. That's from putting in the work, and you're not responsible for your twin. You're not responsible for your twin. You are responsible for you. For you. And their anxiety, and I know this is a Wands card, but because there's this tornado here, and in this card, there's this like wisp of wind right there, that's air energy. That's mental energy. That's anxiety energy. And it sucks that that's where they're at, but that's where they're at. They need, and again, that energy, that anxiety. And I know anxiety is a condition, but there are methods of seeking help. for your anxiety so that you're not overwhelmed, you're not running away and coming back and treating people in a way that you wouldn't want yourself to be treated. So that's that. I don't know if you can compare that to someone in your life for you, for that to make more sense for you, but like, this is where you're at. This is your energy from it. So keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, twin flame journey is not always a romantic journey. It can be, but it's not the main purpose. It is not the main purpose. The twin flame energy, or the twin flame journey, is about reconnecting with your higher self, with your higher self. Because that's what they say about twin flames, right? Is that you share a higher self. Sure, but that doesn't mean they're the same person. Yeah, you share a higher self, but you have two separate bodies. Within your two separate bodies, you have two separate energy fields. Within your body, you have an astral body, and within that astral body, you have an astral energy field. So they all have that too. You're separate. What you share is your divine wisdom, your higher self that comes through. That is what you share because you are ascended. As a twin, you have that ascended spirit to where your spirit can coexist in multiple areas and coexist in multiple bodies. So that's my spiel. Maxine, if you're still here, go ahead and ask a question. You're welcome. Sure. No, I'm not tired. Let's get into love questions. I love love questions. Do I want this deck? No, I want this deck. All right, let me shuffle my intention into this deck. But, all right, Maxine, what are Jason's feeling for you? No, I'd love to know. What time is it? It's 1 in the morning. I've been going to bed so late. I have a hard time sleeping lately, so I'm happy to be doing this though. It's fun. I'm grateful for the practice. So all right. What time is it where you are, Maxine? What are Jason's feelings for you? Oh my goodness. Sorry, when the card came out, it couldn't decide whether it wanted to be upright or inverse, and when I finally turned it over, it was upright, but I find that really interesting because the way that it fell out, it was like inverse, upright, inverse. So, can I have another one, please? Interesting. What are Jason's feelings for you? Okay, so there's lots of love here. There's lots of love here. A lot of emotional connection here. But I'm not sure if it possibly feels like there's this perhaps a disconnect or separation. So what came through, this was the card that couldn't decide whether it wanted to be upright or again, it just my goodness. It's flying all over the place. But the 9 of Cups, and then we have the 6 of Swords inverse, and then the Ace of Cups. So, romance? Well, possibly. Oh, that's fascinating. Hold on. I need a clarifier for this 9 of Cups card because it keeps... So romance, yes, possibly with the Cups cards. If this is not a romantic relationship, it just means that there's a lot of emotional connection. But usually because cups are water. Cups has to do with emotions, deep depth emotion. But with the Eighth of Cups, that means that there's a new start to this emotional journey. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. So I asked for the clarifier. So the reason why I wanted a clarifier on the Nine of Cups is because when I set it down back to look at my spread, I set it down inverse. And like I said, that was the card that like flipped around and didn't know where it wanted to be, and it's landed on inverse. And when I pulled cards for a clarifier of that, what came out was the Queen of Cups inverse and the High Priestess inverse, which is coming through as your energy. So what is his energy? One more, please. Interesting, interesting. So this is your energy. I'll get into it in a second. And then what came out for Jason was, well, I asked what his energy is, and I got the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords. So let me get into it here. Your energy, the Queen of Cups inverse, and the High Priestess. So I just want to say, what I can feel from your energy is there's so much love. And I don't know what kind of love. It could be romantic love, but there is so much love in the feeling sense, because you have the Queen of Wands, or the Queen of Cups. And you know what? This is so cool, because even though the card is inverse, there is the reflection. So yes, it's inverse, but I am seeing in the reflection, in this shadow. Yeah, no, I mean, I can feel that from the cards, and I can also feel how powerful you are, especially with the High Priestess here. It's just you have some blocked energy here. So what this tells me with the Queen of Cups being inverse like this, and then right here, the shadow side is coming out. So there's, and especially again, with this being inverse, the High Priestess, there's some shadow aspects that you're being asked to look into. So I'm going to look at, over here, this shadow that you're being asked to look at in order to unblock this energy, because there's a lot of fear coming out, because you have so much love to give, because like the sense that I'm getting from the cards about you and your energy is this like very nurturing, ooey gooey love. Like whoever your partner is going to be so well taken care of and so nurtured. But because you have such big emotions, there's this tendency here for your feelings to get hurt, for like oversensitivity. And that comes through with the Queen of Cups inverse, because the Queen of Cups, when she is in upright, she is a master of her emotions, of regulating her emotions. She's not going to get upset by some little thing over there, because nothing is going to nothing is going to nothing is going to get through to her peace of mind, because she has mastered her emotions. But when you're blocked like this, oh, thank you. But when you're blocked like this, what you're finding very difficult is you're finding manifesting being very difficult. The High Priestess is being able to use your tools. Like if you look at her upright, look how badass she is. She is standing between these two pillars, the smoke coming out. She's got an offering right here. Like you have the tools, you know what to do. But when you feel like, or when your emotions, when it feels like they're being trampled on, because I really think that this card is meant to be inverse. And it's almost like you've been through the ringer, and it's like, or is it going to start again? Or do I need to go back and guard my emotions and not manifest this again? But moving on to his energy that's coming through, um, he feels guarded with the Queen of Swords energy. And he also feels with this inverse Queen of Wands energy, um, confused. But I find it also interesting that he's coming through with this feminine energy. He's coming through with his energy of wanting to receive from you. It doesn't mean that he's like a feminine person or anything. It just means being in feminine energy is being in the is it being in receptive energy. And if you're both in receptive energy, um, who's taking the action? Um, and it seems that he's trying to take the action here because these are both, again, like just because it's a queen card, just because it's feminine energy doesn't mean they're not capable of taking action. Because, you know, the Queen of Wands, she's all about taking action, although he is blocked in the action that he is taking. What he is not blocked in, though, I mean, is this energy with how this is putting you in blocked energy. I'm not sure if he said something mean to you. It feels like he could have with this Queen of Swords energy because it can be very cutting, um, uh, intelligent language. I don't know if he's using or has used intelligence to like put you down in some way to where to where you've gone in and questioned yourself and been like, wait, was I wrong about that? Did I really, am I really not as, like, question your intelligence? Which I'm sorry, because you are, I can, like I said, I can feel from this, like you are very intelligent, you are very smart, you know what you're doing when it comes to manifesting. So where do I want to go next with this? Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, well, he he very possibly could be, because the last time this card came up, like, that feels like options. That feels like options that he may have. And so when I pulled more cards, what came through, and this very much feels like your energy, I have the Ace of Wands inverse, the Four of Cups, and the Seven of Cups. So again, more emotions, more water energy there. So there's a wound here that you have that you are being encouraged to take a deeper look at. There's a wound here in your emotions, perhaps in your attachment style and how you attach to people, or how you attach to romantic partners, that is coming up and asking to be taken a look at. Because with the Ace of Swords here, this is a false start. This is like an offer that's not a real offer. Here, this is an offer of emotion. This feels like a wish fulfillment of hoping that there is an offer of emotion, um, or that the emotion, because clearly there's a lot of emotions between you guys. There's lots of emotion. There's a lot of water. It's very wet with just water energy. Um, but with this Ace of Swords inverse, it's like, and then especially as well, this Seven of Cups here, which the word says debauch. It's almost like, I don't know if he's trying to like come back and offer you that sword in order to get what he wants from you. But then you're left feeling lonely and left out. And look how much you have. You these are your energies. Yes, they're blocked right now, but please recognize you have the capacity and the ability to be the master of your own emotions, and you have the power and the capacity and the ability to be the high priestess and to make and manifest it what it is that you want. However, if you're going to be pulled in, perhaps in a sexual way, to let it draw on your emotions, look, you're left sitting there with all of your tools, but you're thinking about him. And is that how so again, and that's why you're in that blocked energy, because that is not how a priestess and a queen is meant to be treated. So, and when I asked, so that clearly that was your energy, and I asked, what is his energy? And he's coming through as the Prince of Wands inverse. He's not coming through as a queen anymore. He's not coming through, because like he's not coming through in that feminine receptive energy to be like, oh, well, you know, when I want it, I want it. He's coming through as an immature prince who's just gonna tug at your emotions. Like he knows how to get in through your emotions so that he can, I don't know what the situation is, so that he can get what he wants from you. Whatever it is that, however you are filling his cup, he's not filling your cup. I'm sorry. That hurts. That hurts. But please know how much of a badass you are. Please know how powerful you are, and you don't deserve to be treated that way. And please remember as well, who cares about that one cup there? Look at all those cups you have. Those are your tools. That's looking at your shadow. That's healing what you need to be healed, so that when the right person does come along, they support this energy for you. Instead of you being in that blocked energy right there. Because you're so, like, I don't know if you're a water sign. I would expect you to be a water sign from this reading because of all the cups energy here. But yeah, I just want to, actually, I'm going to go pull, it feels like he wants sex from you. From the cards. Feels like he wants that, but it's what it feels like. That is what he wants from you. It's like he wants you to be here so that he can go do whatever he wants. In a prison of your own mind so that he can go. Because this is his energy. It's what it feels like, yes. But because of all of this water energy, let me go grab, I want to pull a mermaid card for you, because the mermaids are super gentle and they're super healing, and I just want to pull an oracle card for you. So I'm just going to go, you can look at my beautiful lady right there, and I'll go grab those cards for you. Okay. All right, mermaids. Mermaids, please, what advice do you have for Maxine? What advice do you have? Wait, did one turn over? Wait a second. Yeah. All right. This is what came through. Protection. You, your loved ones, and your possessions are safe and protected by heaven. The mermaids are offering you beautiful, emotional water princess, water queen, priestess. The mermaids are offering you protection. Know that you are protected. And by the next crescent moon, we just had a full moon. We're going to be going into a new moon. I feel like something's going to shift for you once we're in this situation for you in a new moon. You're welcome. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, and some men can be jerks, and if that's what they want, then they'll lean into that or they'll play into that. Um, ugh, ugh, men. They say like sexuality is not a choice because I believe if we could choose, we wouldn't be attracted to men. Women wouldn't want to be with men. Not going through any of that. Oh, wrong way. There we go. You're very welcome. I hope that was helpful or useful to you. It was a very beautiful mermaid card that came through. Like I said, very nurturing energy, which you have nurturing energy. So, because he was like, yeah, I'm going to sit back and relax and just receive everything she's going to give me. And all I have to do is show up and be a prince. No, not for a queen and a high priestess. Get out of here. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Hi, if you're just popping in. Pulling cards. If you want cards to be pulled, if you want to ask a question. And in the meantime, I'm just knitting. I was talking on forever about growing up Catholic. Then someone asked for a reading, which was a great reprieve from talking about my early childhood. Yeah, Maxine, I've sworn off. Oh. Sure. Sure, let's take a look. Ooh, I messed up that stitch. Sorry, let me put that stitch back on over this way, and then I'll ask. Thank you for your patience. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. Do I want this deck? I want this deck. Ma'am, please. Sorry, random hairs. All right. All right. Will you get selected in the second round of PhD list? Okay. Yeah. So the card that came through is the Two of Swords, which is a card that has to do with trusting spirit, and you have to trust. See how she's blindfolded? And so I asked for another card to come out because you got to trust. You have to trust spirit's plan for you. And then after that, the Three of Swords came out. So I'm going to say that's a no, and I'm sorry. However, this card indicates and says that it's for a reason. It's for a reason. Yeah. It could be because there's opportunity elsewhere. It could be that that's not the right spot for you. Yeah. But good luck. I'm just a random girl on the internet. That sounds really difficult. That sounds like you have to go through a lot of schooling for something like that. And it also sounds really competitive. So, what a trooper you are. It sounds very difficult. Any last advice? Do I want to pull a card? So with that, I'm going to pull even more gentle than mermaid energy. I'm going to pull a unicorn card for you and see what advice the unicorns have for you based on that answer. Let me shuffle. Unicorns, what advice do you have? What advice do you have? So sorry. Oh my God, is that confirming what I... Okay, hold on a sec. Can I get one more? Okay. So now I am confusion because the card that popped out that was like, I have to come out from the unicorn deck is definitely yes. The answer to your question is a strong yes. How confusing is that when we have the Two of Swords and the Three of Hearts? But you know what? What this is telling me, and then what came out after that is you are gifted. You are very intelligent and talented, which I just said. Also, look at that mane. Look at that mane. Do you have really awesome hair too? Which I just, said, like, if you're in that program, like, you have, like, I bet you are very talented. And then it said, forgive. It's time to let go of anger and blame. So whatever the outcome is for you, get out of your head. Get out of your head. Trust that you are gifted and forgive yourself. It's time, or forgive whatever it is in this program or someone, but like, it's time to let go of anger and blame. Get out of your head. I'm sorry if that was confusing. I'm equally as confused. I did not expect the definitely yes card to come out after I was just given a no. But like I said, the Two of Swords has to do with, you have to, what is it? Trust by faith, not by sight. And that's what she's doing here. And also with the Two of Swords, a lot of people get triggered by this card because it's like, I don't know the outcome. That's what the Two of Swords usually is I don't know the outcome. And that's why people get frustrated. And because you don't know the outcome, look at all this heartache. You're in your head. But then I said, let's pull some unicorn cards, and definitely yes. So believe in yourself. Recognize how gifted and talented you are. And forgive the part of yourself that is doubtful. Forgive the part of yourself. Forgive that part that is like, no, I'm not. I doubt it. I doubt my intelligence and my talent. I doubt that I have this in the bag. Forgive that part. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. I'm sorry if that was confusing, but I hope it helped. I hope it helped. Well, thank you so much. It is 1:33 in the morning for me, and I'm gonna head out and I'm gonna go to bed. But thank you for all this practice, and yeah, maybe I'll go. I've been trying to go live every day, doing different random things. But this was fun reading for people. So I'll see you next time, and I'll see you later. Bye.